Just a few troubleshooting tips as you take the Dominator 4861 to the field. A few things to remember. Make sure that you have your frame level and that you have adjusted the turnbuckle appropriately to give yourself a level frame, but also to be able to adjust the wing level, which we'll get to in a second. But primarily, one of the things we want to do is adjust the coulter pressure appropriately. I typically like to start off at about 600 or 700 psi on the valve or from the tractor on an SST, but put enough pressure on these coulters just to cut the residue. That's what we're after. These coulters on a 4861 are designed to run in between the shanks, not directly in front of, and it allows soil to move up that shank and move residue through the machine. These coulters are on an 8-inch spacing, and we'd really like to see a couple of inches of depth to get good residue cutting, but the real telltale on whether we're getting good residue cutting or not is if we're seeing residue show up, hang up on the shanks. If we see that residue starting to hairpin or wrap around the shanks, then we can come back to the front of the machine, make an adjustment with another 50 or 100 pounds of pressure from the tractor, and that will push these coulters into the ground, giving you better residue cutting and flow through the shanks. And then of course, finally on the wing level, we want the wing to be running level on the machine, and you would make that adjustment there with the eye bolt to make sure that the wing is has the walking wheel or the wing wheel in level with the rest of the frame. The final step in troubleshooting, some of the things that you might see with a Dominator might be due to uneven finish or residue distribution with the disc conditioner of the machine. We do want to start off with the disc conditioner frame level, and that's going to be made with the adjustments of the turnbuckle. We're typically going to start those off at 22.5 inches pin to pin, but depending on the soil type and residue condition that we would be in, we may want to nose that disc conditioner forward or move it towards the rear depending on the condition of the field behind us. And the way we would do that is when the machine is in the ground, the best way to leave the machine in the ground, stop the tractor, put it in park, come back and actually from the cab you would raise the disc conditioner and then lower it back down onto the ground. This will relieve a lot of the pressure on this turnbuckle link, and with the wrench on the tongue, you can then unpin this linkage and rotate this turnbuckle about a half rotation at a time. Really, a half rotation can give you a result that you would be looking for to get better finish out of the rear of the Dominator. Once you have made all of those adjustments on the machine, then you would make sure you pin those turnbuckles back, put your wrench back into the tongue, and then you can go run again to see if that improved or gave you the desired results of the disc conditioner. The other piece is the center buster or center blades in the middle of the disc conditioner. On a 4861, we have the ability to raise and lower that center blade, the configuration of the center blades, to either fill in a valley or knock down a ridge, have less of a ridge to get a smooth center. This is a reverse tandem disc conditioner. It's not an offset, so we do have that adjustability in the center of the machine to provide a good level finish behind the Dominator. The final piece is adjusting the spring pressures of the 24/7 conditioning system. We do want to make sure that these springs are even pressure across the machine, and that does mean we need to refer to the chart on the machine. For the length of the reel, these springs will be at different lengths across the machine to give an even pounds of pressure. So for example, at 80 pounds of pressure per foot of reel, these springs need to individually be adjusted to provide that even pressure as you go to the field. One final step in troubleshooting is to make sure that for a hydraulic lift option, that we do have the pin that's provided in a storage position and not engaged into the hydraulic assembly for adjustment.